Hey guys, how you doing? Hope everyone had a great weekend. Got some updates of the past couple days of what's been going as it pertains to North Korea. The G20 summit ended. President Trump got to speak to a couple different people during the summit, key people like President Xi of China, Putin of Russia, when it comes to North Korea, because China and Russia came out with this deal which they thought was a win-win. And basically, the deal stated that the U.S. and South Korea would stop military drills, and in return, North Korea would stop their nuclear ambitions, at least freeze them at this point. Now, this is something that doesn't seem like North Korea or the U.S. or South Korea are willing to do. After that ICBM test that they tested on July 4th, the U.S. responded by flying two B-1B Lancer bombers over the DMZ, and they actually did a live-fire exercise where they dropped bombs to show North Korea, their precision strike capabilities with these bombers. Now, that didn't, obviously that didn't go well with Kim Jong-un. The state-run propaganda media machine of North Korea came out and stated that that was a tipping point for war with the United States of America and South Korea. They saw that as a grave provocation. And this isn't something new, just because they came out and said it was a tipping point. We've heard words like this before, so it doesn't necessarily mean, hey, war is going to start at any moment. And when you look at the different officials from the U.S. side, from the South Korean side, you can see that they're still trying diplomacy as long as they can. That door is closing very fast. But we saw President Trump meet with President Xi of China, and he stated that China and the U.S., we don't really agree on how to deal with North Korea. One of the main reasons I think China's not completely on board is, why would they be? What possible reason do they have to help the United States here? And the answer is none. Whatever complete relationship we had with China, we've been thrown out the door when we were given arms to Taiwan, when we fly bombers over the South China Sea. It's just a huge mess. Our relations with China are really rough right now. So they have no reason to help us with North Korea, nor should they. North Korea is a buffer between communism and capitalism, between Asia and the Western world. They've been a buffer since the 60s. All right, so China's not going to help us out at all. But Trump did come out and state that it may take a little bit longer than he would like to deal with North Korea. So I think the chances of a military intervention went way low when he said that. Now, do I think that it's still a possibility? Yes, I do, because I don't think that economic sanctions are going to do anything. I don't think Russia and China are going to get on board with these sanctions, because a lot of these sanctions go against Chinese banks. And China and Russia have been getting very, very close as of late. They just signed I think about a $10 billion arms deal, military deal between the two. So I don't see them getting on board with this. And we can see that when we look at these UN Security Council meetings, when we see our officials meet with theirs. So while I don't think a military intervention's happening anytime soon, and by that I mean things change very quickly over there. If North Korea tests another nuke, if they get an ICBM that looks like it can reach mainland United States, at that point I think our chances are very, very high at that point. But at the current state we are at, I don't believe it's going to happen. But I do think that North Korea is not going to stop. They stated that they have a bunch of gift packages for the United States of America, and what form that will take we'll have to see. But their nuke sites, they're being well-groomed, well-maintained. A nuke test could happen at any moment. Honestly, North Korea has so much equipment that we didn't think they had, that you gotta wonder, are they getting outside help? And a lot of people think they are. We know that they've worked with Iran before when it comes to military equipment, but maybe Russia's putting their hand in, maybe China's putting their hand in. at any rate, the U.S. is going to have to get creative if they're going to deal with North Korea in not a military fashion, because China and Russia are they're just not going to get on board. Now, I don't think economic sanctions are going to do anything. They haven't done anything for the past 2-3 decades. So what's going to happen, and what we're going to have to look for is, one, what is North Korea going to do next? Are they going to go with a nuclear test? Because North Korea has come out and stated that diplomacy, like talks, we can throw talks out the window, because their nuclear program is not on the table at all. So that throws talks off the table. So the next thing is, okay, sanctions. But they've gone through sanctions because of China. And whenever we start ramping up these sanctions, what do they target? Chinese banks, Chinese companies. That doesn't go over well with China. And that's just not going to work. Because China's just going to be a loophole in North Korea like they always have been. So where does that leave us? A military intervention? It's a lose-lose situation here. And we're gonna have to see where this pans out, because at this point, who really knows? It's a terrible situation, guys. And honestly, I don't have the answer. Many people don't have the answer, other than leave them alone and see what happens. As the days go by, we'll get more updates. We'll find out exactly. Maybe a new range of sanctions, what the U.S. is going to put on the table. And at that point, I'll let you guys know what's going on. But make sure to check back, because we always try to keep you guys up to date on what's going on with North Korea and the rest of the world. So make sure you guys check back.